Verdenis. Well, for some people, he knows who they are, some people doesn't. And I kind of want to go over explaining kind of like the history of Verdenis and how he supposedly became one of the most greatest things I ever created. So let's just say, I'm kind of familiar with creating NOCs. Like, it is my first time creating an NOC. The other one, though, was pretty lame, which was just a self-insert, and the story was absolutely horrible, so I just started scrapping. Instead, I moved on. And eventually, after I left that OC a year later, I thought I was never going to make an OC ever again. I was like, I swear I'm never going to get OC ever again. I made a horrible story in middle school, so I thought I was never going to touch it again. Until 10th grade, where I had to do an English assignment. But here's the kicker. It wasn't just an essay. It was a creative writing thing where I had to make my own story. And I made a story called The Dragon Was In, which is kind of a Attorney Webber Bob, but it based off a kid who is not in a good state right now. His parents died and lived with his grandpa and grandma, but eventually they stayed out the trip to go to, I think it was China. Yeah, I think it was China, yeah, because of the dragon culture there. And he got lost up in the sauce, and he eventually had the power to turn to dragon every time he was upset. It's a cautionary tale about controlling your emotion and controlling your anger. And I don't really want to go in full spoiler territory because I feel like you guys can easily read the book. I'll link it down in the description down below. But let's just say it gets pretty bloody and messy. And I think I got a very high A on it, so that was pretty good. And then after that, I was just like, okay. I actually thought it would be a pretty good indie show idea, but I'm just like, what would I do with this character? So then eventually, Minitude helped with this, made a community skit competition. So I'm just like, oh my god, I need someone to go in there. And I remember near the end, I will say Verdenis, like there's the reason why you named that, which is pretty ironic. And then we kind of explain what they're two different Verdenis too. So then when I did the community skit competition, I was like, oh wait, I don't really know how to draw digital art, I can only draw traditional art. And the issue is with that is, if I draw traditional art, it's not really good to translate for 3D modelers. So I went to someone I knew that could do it, which was Ad Lily. And he did it for a pretty cheap price. I highly recommend him. You know what I mean? I think he did it for a pretty cheap price. So he made Verdenis. He eventually did 5 phases of Verdenis, and we moved on, and I showed it to Cartoon, who is currently doing the 3D model for Verdenis as we speak right now. And then also, I will do the contact with Medium Noob, so everything fully paid for. So kind of like once Cartoon done, it'll go to Medium Noob, and then, we're going to add to some fan games. And then decided to do the OC Social Network, which is, again, another app you should totally check out. And pretty much, a lot of people liked it. Not only who were verified, he got a lot of followers, and a lot of people find the story pretty compelling. But here's the thing, though. I talked about 2 different Verdenis there. The first one, the Dragon Was In Verdenis, is one about redemption. He isn't the bad guy here. And he's not as powerful as the other Verdenis we have now. The one that is the Dragon Lord. The one that is actually killing people to get more powerful. And I had a hard time thinking which one should be picked, but I decided to let's do both. I feel like what makes life so interesting is how a situation can really affect someone. If both of your parents die in a horrific car accident and you're still alive, you can either grow up and move on or become a villain. And I feel like I want to show that with Verdenis, where one Verdenis was able to grow up and move on, and the other one was able to let anger control them and led to them becoming the Dragon Lord, which doesn't control the behavior of Verdenis then because he still killed someone to get what he wants, but it makes him more of a villain than anything. But the other one is more empathetic and actually will help other people out. When the other Verdenis will only care about dragons and hate humans. So, yeah. Now, let's go over the plan for Verdenis, shall we? The first plan, have him in the story, and depending on when I'm posting the video, either on Wednesday, you always kind of saw like a little hint of what's going on from the voice line. Also, I forgot to mention I voiced Verdenis, so yeah. Guys, shocking, I know. No one suspected that coming. I don't really credit myself, so no one will know that I'm the one that voiced Verdenis, but yes, I did, so. I forgot to mention that too. But eventually, there's that. And then the next thing I'm trying to aim for is a Friday fucking mod of Verdenis. I'm also trying to get some merch of Verdenis. I am also trying to hopefully have a bunch of games. But again, most of that depends on the street model though. Because the more the street model are done, I basically send out to all the games that want Verdenis. So you can definitely expect it to come in a bunch of games. So Verdenis will be like, Verdenis is unsettling. He'll be like the one like person that just will be everywhere and you cannot escape them. I probably want to do different voice lines though, so not just a copy and paste for every single time. Just more self-aware and stuff like that. But overall, in my opinion, I feel like this will be a pretty cool idea. I'm also planning on having some merch. For merch, I feel like I want to have standard merch, which is merch that will be there all the time that you can always buy. And then the second line of merch I want is like limited Christmas merch. I don't really like FOMO. However, though, I feel like if we keep the Christmas and Halloween merch, people are going to get overwhelmed trying to look for, oh yeah, this is Verdenis 2014 merch, and no, this is the 2020 merch. So overall, I feel like it's better to have it just limited. You know what I mean? Like have some sort of limited, but have like still standard stuff, like the regular Verdenis there. But you want to see Verdenis drinking some hot cocoa, you have like until maybe next year. I don't know. I'll probably give you guys like a long time to buy the merch. I don't know, so. I'm hoping, because I got animated now, and I actually have to redraw Verdenis, hoping for a Verdenis indie show, hopefully in October. If we get picked up by Glitch, that will also be a good retelling. I'm feeling, again, a lot of people wonder, am I picking two Verdenises? The answer, I'm doing both. It will follow the main Verdenis that, not the bad guy Verdenis, but just the origin story. But then also, there will be some episode where it shows the other Verdenis, the other side, and eventually, man, they're going to clash. I would like to keep the roles separate, but I think it'll be pretty cool to have them clash at the end for a series finale or something like that, and see what happens. So overall, that's the future of Verdenis, that's what he is, that's what his deal is, and where I see him going forward. So if you guys, anything can help me, you know what I mean? Like, anyone, be like, oh, this guy came to find a fucking monster for you, like, okay. Or, oh, this guy also knows how to anime, like, okay, just hook me up, so. But that's Verdenis in a nutshell. So that's kind of like where we're going with the character, the origin, the humble beginnings, and where it's going. So that it, guys. Please like and subscribe. Hit that bell, turn on notifications. Comment, Verdenis is a boss. As you made it to the end of this video. And yeah, so see ya. I don't know when I'm posting a video. If I'm posting this on Wednesday, I'll live stream on Wednesday. If I'm posting on Thursday, I already live streamed. I'll see. I don't know. I'll probably go to post it on Wednesday. I'm probably posting it today. The guy made the video on Wednesday, but that's Verdenis deal right there. So, yeah. But anyways, see ya.
I am Verdenis, and I approve this message.